If, we all remember the road to Oregon for Manyala, how it really were really perfect for him ahead of the race, but he really did put up a good show in this up to the semis, right?
Yes, and from there he went to Birmingham, and won a gold medal there. And this time around, he's actually leaving the country maybe next week to France, where his training base will be. And he was telling me that for him to run sub 10 in every race, you need to train at that level, at that altitude, just like the way the same altitude that is in Hungary is the same one in France. That's why he's opting to train in France. It's actually a partnership between Miramas and NOC. So he's going to benefit from that. That program.
And a couple of athletes, upcoming athletes, have also been been in Miramas preparing for, and also maybe trying to get into not so ordinary sports for what the Kenyan folk is used to, like the triple jumps and the long jumps. How is that going along for the youngsters who are posted there?
It's very interesting that we didn't have even a trial for those field events. Long jump,
looking at the order.
Yes, high jump was we always relied on Matthew Sawe. Unfortunately, he's serving the ban now. He was caught to have cheated, so is serving the ban. Now, the most challenging moment for the athletes Kenya and Kenya in general is to make sure someone comes in. But another thing is that even at the school level, we don't have much of this field event. So you find, but definitely it's because of the lack of facilities. For you to train in those long jump, high jump, and triple jump, you need a good facility.
And that are doing it, though.
Yes, they are doing it, and most of those doing it, they are based in the US.
Yes,
they are all based in America. That's why they can come in where there are so many facilities. Here you have to come to Nairobi. Remember, if you're a good jumper and you're living in, let's say, Kisumu, there's no stadium in Kisumu. In Eldoret, all the status of the stadium is there. So they have to come in here. And here, that means you have to get an extra resources to train. Or maybe you get someone to host you. So, and in the end, we just urging the government to put up more facilities across the country to help this natural talents.
And AK to
push that.
Yes. Give more emphasis to having field events, because the Nigerians are really doing it good. The African champion, the Commonwealth champion, they're all Nigerian. So it will be really, really interesting and rewarding to see that field events also get a mention, get a nod in the athletics.
Sure. Even javelin is struggling now. Yego is in the team, but courtesy of being an area champion. Area champions are basically African champion. Without that, there's no way he was going to make that team. Because you look at all the throw he has made this season and from last season, all of them, they are below 78 meters, which is lower standard required
for the world. Now, let's talk about the athletes who are yet to make a mark. What's the way forward? We're talking about the 4x400 meters, 4x100 meters, and as well as 4x400 mixed relay.
In those relays, for you to get qualification standard, you have to bring in other countries to come and compete with your team. And on this case, some countries were invited. I know Botswana was invited, Nigeria was invited, and also South Africa. But all of the athletes were engaged elsewhere, so they could not make a team to come in to compete with the Kenyan team. And what the measure that the federation has put in place is that before 20th, they'll have 2 races abroad, where they send 4x4 men, both men and women, and 4x1 men and mixed relay. They'll have a chance to go to Europe, go and pick, try and get the time.
And maybe that particular journey could begin with a meeting in Belgium next week.
Yes, there's a international meet in Belgium where they'll be sent there to compete.
With Omanyala in the team as well as Imeta, really?
Yeah, Omanyala will be in the 4x1 team. Yeah, alongside Esbon Uchieng,
yes,
and Odiambo, and what is that? Asamba. Yeah.
And maybe looking at their performance at the Commonwealth Games, they did write a new national record at the Games. So
yes, now actually they had the time. Unfortunately,
yes,
one of the athletes from that quartet was caught to have cheated.
Yes,
and he has been suspended currently. So they have to do another set of trials and get the time.
So that's what really put their efforts below.
Yes.
Oh, and maybe what if it's just 16 nations, right? 16 nations. What's 16. The position of Kenya currently?
Currently, we are actually number 16. And remember the trials last week, this week, there's so many trials going on across the South America, in Europe, in Asia. So there's likelihood that 4x4 men will change. Yeah,
and
the ranking will change.
The ranking will change.
Yes.
To the advantage of Kenya?
No, disadvantage.
Candid one. So, and if you miss it out, then it will be, what do you think? There were no major main event for Team Kenya, you know, like we used to have the Bahamas relays, which the qualification pathway for the relay.
After
this season, yes.
What really changed was the pandemic, the corona. So you find the relay team, the relay championship that was scheduled last year didn't happen, and actually it had been pushed to next year. So the last 3 years we didn't have any relay championship. That's the reason why. Yeah.
I mean, looking at the team, we could have talked about all the major names, you know, big names that they have the time. They've had scintillating run this season. How about what I'll call the underdogs? Looking at that team.
You look at that
surprises,
team. There's someone in 800 called Kipyegon Nyeno. Is Alex Kiprotich Nyeno. No, Alex Nyeno Kiprotich.
Yes.
Yeah, Alex was a 2018 World Championship gold medalist, and that's under 20 in Tampere, Finland. And from there he struggled again with the injury, and later this year when he was just picked, he was at the right frame. He lost his father, 4 of his relatives in a road accident. They had come to Nairobi to pick his wife is also an athlete, and the wife was in the team that was in Bath in Australia, and she won. She was a medal winner in the mixed relay. Now the family had come to Nairobi to pick the athlete, but along the way, going back to Kericho, they had an accident and they lost so many family members. And it's good to see him coming back and making the team. He was actually number 2 at the Kenyan trial. Yes.
So that's really encouraging for him, and I know maybe he'll be doing it for the lost for the family.
Exactly.
Yes. And looking at Emmanuel Korir, his season, no.
He's struggling. I've watched the 3 champions. The Diamond League has appeared. He has really struggled. And actually, that's the main reason why he opted not to run. Probably he's suffering from maybe an injury. He opted not to run at the Kenyan trial, maybe to get more time to heal or recover. Yeah, but remember, he's the Olympic and the world champion. So it's someone you cannot ignore. Teaming up with Wanyonyi, definitely a medal prospect.
Yeah, and Wanyonyi really coming out very well in the last 2 seasons.
Yes, sure. And it's actually his good performance is the fact that he's being trained by one of the Kenyan top athletes. Yeah, so athlete who knows what it takes to win. Yeah.
Yes, of course, that we're talking about the national team, the selection, as well as those who were already picked and what are their chances. We're looking at the the times that they possess, as well as how they will be lining up in efforts to bring more medals to the country. Beatrice Chepkoech, could we see another world record in the 3,000 meters steeplechase?
Currently, she's not at that top level where you can consider world record, but she's back.
Yeah, she's a contender.
She's a contender, and looking across the globe, looking at the American Emma Coburn, and looking at the Ethiopian, she's currently with the best time. Yeah, so we have to get something from her.
Yeah, and as we wait for our athletes to come up in the sprints, right? In the especially the women sprinters, that's 100 meters. You know, we had the prospects, but really among the juniors, the Selfo Jambos, you know, who are currently doing well, but might take them time to come. Let's talk about the 100 elsewhere, the trials elsewhere, the 100 meters. About in USA and Jamaica, where they were actually leading times that were set by.
I was watching that US trial and getting someone relatively unknown, Charleston, winning the US trial. You know, winning US 100, the sprint, especially the trial, is a direct medal bracket prospect in World Championship. So there's you seeing Charlton coming in. Kelly, of course, is a defending champion, and I think Knighton was there also, won the 200. Yeah, I think they're still going to dominate that space.
Yeah, and the women, so Sherika setting a world lead in her qualification.
Sherika really runs very economical race. Look at the way they run, but it's all across those American countries, Jamaica, Bahamas. They don't run many races, unlike our own here, Kenyans. We tend to run many races, which in the end ban our prospect at the end.
And Sherika Jackson in Jamaica also had 10.6.
Yes, 10.6, and. Remember Shakari. Shakari is one of the top runner now.
Yes. And
she missed the Olympics. She missed also the World Championship. And now she wants to make a statement going to this World Championship. That she is the best. Remember, she was here for Kipyegon Classic.
Yes.
And she ran a world lead in 200 meters.
Yeah.
Actually, this is her time to shine.
Yeah. She has a point to prove.
Yeah, sure. Especially having missed the last two global meets. Yeah, this is our time to
and missing the meets on such reasons. What do you think does to her mentally?
It was a mental breakdown for her, especially missing the Olympic, where the anti-doping authority said that she had used cannabis, and she actually acknowledged it and accepted that. Yeah, I was down, you know, I had many problems, and I wanted something to cool down to cool down my mental, and that's why she used it. She used it, and she was banned for was it 2 months or 1 month?
2 months, actually.
Actually, her ban was ending a day to the Olympics. Yes.
Yeah, that was really tough for her.
Yes.
But she's really shown that she has the character to bounce.
Yeah, she's someone that we can say now. Since the exit of Usain Bolt, athletes haven't have anyone. You can see that there's a figurehead for in athletics. Maybe she can take in. But we are forgetting South Africa. Van Niekerk, he's back. He's back. Remember, he's the 400-meter record holder. And he's back. He has won all his races this season. So, Van Niekerk will be someone to watch at the World Championship.
Will Hakani Simpine be a thorn in the flesh for Omanyala?
Well, I don't think so. Sibine, maybe if he goes very well, he will reach semi-final. Yeah, in my list of the finalists, I can't see him there.
Who are you seeing? You're seeing Omanyala?
I'm seeing Omanyala there. I'm seeing Fred Kali there. I'm seeing the Botswanans. Tobago.
Yeah, Tobago
will also will be in the mix. Sure.
Yeah, and Tobago maybe he's also had a good season so far.
Yes, sure.
And then that would be a test for Omanyala. But really, everybody would like to have Omanyala finally get that world.
Last week, 10 days ago, I was talking to some international media house, and they were saying, now Kenyans are talking of a medal prospect at the World Championship. What's your take on that? And I said, you know what? The fact that Omanyala consistently now running sub 10 is definitely into the final. And at the final level, anything can happen. He can actually go ahead and win the final, and will be one of the best moments for actually the continent, because there's no one from African country who has ever won a world championship in 100 meters. Yes. Yeah.
And Omanyala, with his time, definitely, we hope that he'll ban that.
Yes, now he has the world lead, which is still standing. Yeah. Yes.
Hopefully he'll ban. Even how Kali won in last year, 9.86. That's what Omanyala holds, right?
Something about the World Championship, they don't look at the time. The more time is looked at the Diamond League meeting. But at the World Championship, it's all about positions. What you need, make your way to the final, then throw in to the end, and probably get a medal.
Yes, and so when they say that Kenya has had the best team, they're also looking at the athletes who are basically part of this contingent, right?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
And maybe what's the belief for Team Kenya this time round?
From where I'm sitting, and having analyzed all these athletes, we're likely to get more medals from female runners than
the
male counterpart. Starting from the marathon, check all because most marathoners opted not to run in World Championship. They preferred the world majors, where there's huge amount of money from appearances and winning bonuses. And that's why you look at that team.
Yes, the marathon team.
Yes, they are relatively new faces. Yes.
Why why is that so?
Running is a bit about business, and the World Championship is scheduled to be run during the World Majors event. Remember, there's Kevin Kipyegon was listed, but what they call Berlin organizers, ask him, why don't you come and run and attempt world record? We are going to give you this certain amount of money. Where do you go?
You have to go for the money.
That's what they're doing.
and I mean, it's also looking at the depth of that particular team. Could you say that we'll have that the world, world medal?
Yeah, sure. You're going to get a world medal. But we can't say which one.
The marathon. The conditions in Budapest, how do they favor?
The condition is a low altitude area, and we hope good time will be right there.
Yes, and the women's side, I mean, Bridget Kosgei and all that.
Yeah, there's Wanjiru. Wanjiru is one of the top athletes who will be featuring at the World Championship. He won the first major this year. That's Tokyo Marathon. He was the winner. She was the winner there. So I hope she'll lead the team. To medal.
Yeah, and if, you talked about Kiptum coming to this as the 2023 London Marathon champion.
But he had to pull out. Because a better deal came along the way. Yes.
And Bridget Kosgei?
She also withdrew from the team. Yes.
So who is making the Kenyan team, and how does that float augur well for Team Kenya's ambitions in this particular? Of course, there are in the Kenyan, the male team, there are good talents and good
yes.
runners like Timothy Kiplagat, you know, the 2023 Rotterdam Marathon silver medalist. So that means that Kenya will still be counting on some of its best talents in this field.
Sure. All of those athletes who are listed to run the marathon, especially men, all of them, they've run sub 2 hours 4 minutes. So they're all good, in good shape. Yes. Yes. So the good thing about Kenya, we have the depth. The depth is there. Anyone picked to represent the country, be assured that there are people who can go there and win a medal. Yes.
Yeah, and we've missed the men's medal since 2017.
Yeah, men have struggled. Yeah, and I think with this team, marathon team, I'm trying to look at where it is. Yes, there's Titus Kipruto, Timothy Kiplagat, Joshua Bilal, Michael Gidai, he'll be a reserve. Yeah, there are people who can deliver medal. Yeah,
and the women's marathon, since Ruth Chepngetich did it in Doha, 2019.
Yes, Sally Kipyego, she has the experience. Anyone expect her? Everyone expect her to go in and win. And teaming up with Mary Wanjiru, I mean, that's a medal prospect.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
but don't overlook Ethiopia. Ethiopian. There's an area where they will come in a very big force to ensure that they deliver medal. Yeah.
And how does Team Kenya, like diffuse the threat from the Ethiopians?
Ethiopia, they have to deploy teamwork. Yeah, they have to maybe sacrifice someone to do the pacemaking role. Yeah, to ensure that they finish within the medal. Yes.
Ugandans, have they conducted their trials? How do they measure?
No, Uganda majorly don't do trials because they don't have a huge number of athletes. Yeah. So what they normally do, they pick the top. Yeah. And I saw the other day, their top marathon distance runner. It's called. Not Kiplimo, the other one is called Jacob Kiplimo will be doubling for Uganda, and the current world champion is preparing more towards the road race, and he'll be featuring at this year's Valencia Marathon in December. Yeah.
So basically, what they do is that all those the athletes who posted good times or impressive times across the season get the nod.
Sure, that's what they do.
This denies those who are also dreaming a chance to get.
The good thing about athletics is about results. You go there, throw in the time. Yeah, you can't come from nowhere and win. You know, people used to say that Kenyan trial should be open. Everyone should come in and compete. You'll get a surprise winner here and there. No, you have to start at a lower level. That's a weekend meet, second weekend meet, up to third. Then you go to national. By the time you reach the national, people are seeing you. The agents are seeing you. The panel of selectors are noticing you. ADAC is also noticing your performance. So will enable you to get those mandatory tests, the 3 mandatory out of competition tests.
And I remember there was a case ahead of heading into the 2019 where Daniel Simiyu.
He was dropped.
He was dropped.
He was dropped, but later he understood. He understood why he was dropped because he was relatively unknown, and he wasn't running in the
local meet.
The local meet. And he came in and won. And the following year again, there was Kamar, who surprised everyone and made the team. In 1500, he was dropped again because of what? He was untested. Yes.
He had not been seen in any
no one had noticed him.
So that's really what the athletes should know.
Yes, athletics, you have to go out, be seen. Yes. If your coach sees that you are a good athlete, please register them in this local meet so that people get notice of them.
Yeah, and maybe that's also a clever way of AK and ADAC to actually rein in on...
exactly. Yeah, you can't just come from nowhere and you're winning everything. Yes, this is a process.
Indeed, what do I say? Altokea too.
Yes, who is it Tokea too?
People must know you and keep a track record of how you came into the field.
Yes.
And maybe really, looking at the 800 meters, right? And we all know that every athlete just wants to either upset or match what Rudisha did.
Whatever Rudisha did in 2012 London Olympic, I don't see anyone doing it in the next 10 years.
What do you
Unfortunately,
mean,
yes. Because you look at we had hoped that Emmanuel Korir can match, because he has that physics. He is someone with the mentally upright approach to championship. But he's struggling again along the way. So it's proving that it's just a championship runner rather than a meet runner. There's a difference between a meet runner and a championship.
Yeah, and that's what the country fancies.
Yeah, we want a medal at the
end of the day. A gold.
At the end of the day, yes.
Yeah. And we also look at how we've really again struggling in hurdles. We had the Lekki Bet who was really trailblazed.
400, and since then you've seen there's now an emergence of Weissman Were, coming in and making the team. And I was hoping that US-based Mutalel Mpoke will be included in the team, because I thought that he had made the time, the qualification standard. Maybe probably he had met the testing requirements.
He really went off the radar after the Olympics?
After the World Championship, but he has been running those US meets. I'd hope to see his name there.
How do we now? How the hurdles? How do we? With Were and also Boniface Mweresa.
Mweresa will be running 400 flat.
Flat, yes. I mean, it looks that we can still get it. And
to be honest, my honest opinion, in 400 meter, Were should be aiming more on getting a personal best, so that he can be noticed and start running Diamond League next season. Yes.
What is the requirement for them to feature the Diamond Leagues?
It's about the time. It's all about the time. You need a sub 50 every time in 400 hurdles.
And maybe does he need to attend more like other championships?
Remember when Boniface Musheru and the late Nicholas Bet, when they went all the way to reach the final and eventually win the medal in 2015. That was in Beijing. He was based in South Africa for a period of time, so the level of preparation wasn't done in Kenya. So they needed a foreign-based kind of training, and that from that training they managed to go all the way to Beijing and win medals.
So, and I mean, hurdles and sprints, we all wait at least to just come onto the scene.
Last again, we go back to facilities. I've managed to travel with you around the country. How many facilities do you see there? There are none. And just like, javelin, field event and hurdles, they are very technical events which require standard facilities. Uwezi ruka kama fence, alafu ruka kama fence, then you expect to win.
Like what we saw on during school games. Totally.
The technique, the totally lack the basic technique of clearing the bars. Yes.
And we talked about 10,000 meters, and maybe this is a race that we'll like to see like the likes of Irene Kamais, talk about her strength and how she ahead of the Budapest, how her time has been, and
she's in a very good shape. And considering that they come from the same training camp alongside Agnes Jebet, they will give the country an edge because they know each other, they understand each other very well, so they can give us a good performance in Budapest.
Yeah, teamwork will be key, but sometimes it's been a focal point for discussion.
You know what, the coaches and we are glad to have Julius Kirwa. He has been top coaches for the country for the last, I think, since I came into this halls, almost 10 years now. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they'll deploy a tactic to ensure the country get a medal. Yeah, because if you just check the exit of Vivian Cheriot, Obiri to road race, yeah, you see they left a vacuum. Yeah, and no one. When Vivian left, she left Obiri to take over the mantle. Yeah. Obiri left. This is a vacuum. Yeah. Unfortunately, someone who was very good we had hoped to take over was Agnes Tirop.
Yes.
The late Agnes Tirop. Yeah. So you see there's a gap. Yeah. The country need to meet to
bring along more talent.
Exactly the same thing applies to men's steeplechase.
Yeah.
Look at that team.
Yeah.
I can assure you, we will be lucky to get bronze in Budapest.
Abraham Kibiot, Leonard Bett, and Simon Koech.
In fact, Simon Koech is yet to get the time. So you have like more the next 10 days to try and get a race and get the qualification standard. Look at Abraham Kibiot. He pushed himself to win a gold medal in Birmingham last year. Yeah, against an Indian who was really chasing him down.
With all respect, yes.
And you see, Conseslus could not even make the team. Yeah, the last 10 years he has consistently appeared in the national team.
Yes.
And this time round, he posted, did not finish.
What has knocked him down? What has?
Well, it's just maybe he was injured or coming out of injury, or he was just in a good shape to compete.
Do you expect him to bounce back?
That's a good question. It all depends on the mental capability of the athlete himself. Yeah, I'm not sure. Unlike US and US and British, where there are those psychologists who come in.
A whole team that backs up athletes.
Kenya, we tend to lack that. I saw Nok tried to bring in that, and it's something that should be encouraged, and athletes Kenya should be having people to coach the mental capability of these athletes, included in the national team as the team official.
Yes. And I mean, I remember when the Team Kenya was heading to Tokyo, right?
Yes.
There was a whole team of
Dr. Kinyali was there. Yeah, there's another lady was there. Yeah. And unlike
how important are they?
It's very you can't overlook it. Athletes are the only people who have stress in every day.
They need someone to ask them how
exactly, someone to cool them down, someone to talk to them. Yeah, and it's something that I'll personally talk to management at AK, and try to get this psychologist come into the national team as officials.
Yeah, you've interacted with them closely. Then, what are some of the what do they need? How do they need to be uplifted sometimes?
Athletes, they just need some people to encourage them. Yeah, you can be having a bad day from home, then that will translate into your performance. So you need that someone to
keep you close.
Exactly.
And coaches, that's not their role, right?
This is a technical guys. You need a mental coach as well.
Someone who can study the brain, have the patience to wait on how you'll respond to the conditions and all that.
Sure.
So sometimes we see them performing and we ask, what happened to them?
Yes, yeah. You know, especially you look at the performance of women. Mm-hmm. It's never consistent. Yes. Because women go through a lot of things. Yeah. The shape one will have today is not the same as tomorrow. Yeah. Yes, compared to men. Yeah. So mental coaches is a mandatory for the national team to have. Yes. Yeah.
And also this cuts across even in football. I mean, all the big teams elsewhere, not just saying for comparison reasons, but all the teams elsewhere, they all have a huge team of top psychiatrists who just handle.
Yes. And they are actually permanent part of the team. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we're talking about Team Kenya here, of course, ahead of their participation in the World Athletics Championships. A parting shot from you, Dennis, before I let you go. Team Kenya's performance here.
We are going to have a good performance in Budapest, mm-hmm. but I expect more medals to come from female rather than men.
Yes, and we hope to see you here. KBC channel will be beaming live the championship, Dennis.
Or
you'll be in Budapest, all the same. Thank you so much.
Good.
Yes, and of course that was Dennis Okeyo, athletics journalist, talking about delving into the matters of athletics. And we were talking about the 57-member team that was picked up for the World Athletics Championships due in Budapest from 17th, 27th, or 19th, 27th, I beg your pardon, of August in Hungary. KBC Channel 1 will be showing the games live. We'll be talking to next set of interview. We'll be speaking to kickboxing in Kenya and talking to Taki Master and his team. They're already on the other side of the studio preparing for that particular interview, and just see how the game is picking up in the country. We'll take a short break. We'll be back.